My word, talk about a blaster that nobody either knows exists or cares about. I have a feeling it's a combination of the two with this one, but this is the NERF Nitro Doubleclutch Inferno. And yes, NERF Nitro, the car launcher thing, which is, I won't lie, not really my kind of thing. So why do I own this? Well, because it's called the Doubleclutch Inferno, and it happens to be like a double-barreled shotgun that shoots cars. So clearly I had to have this one, and thank you for the people who donated on my live stream for me to pick one of these up, because, yeah, there was no other way this is going to happen. I'm not like, you know, the age demographic for the NERF Nitro thing. I don't even think this is a relatively bad product, it's just... it's a thing. Like, I would have cared about this a lot more if I was a kid. But it is, in fact, one of those car launcher things where, you put foam cars in it, and you launch them, but it does 2 at a time, because it's a double-barreled shotgun. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. There's some other stuff. You can get more foam cars, and a stunt loop set, and bullseye blast, and this one is circled, and this is another one. I'm pretty sure that's a remake of one we already have. I don't know. I only have the Moto Fury to have the Moto Fury for a special occasion, but this one blasts 2 cars at once for double stunt action, which I would argue would be pretty frickin' nifty. It's designed for speed and distance, and you combine with NERF Nitro sets to create customizable stunt courses. And yeah, it comes with a lot of stuff. In fact, there's a ramp in here I should probably get out at some point, huh? There we go. There's some instructions in there, but I've already played with this enough to know exactly what it can do. Oh, there's little pieces of rubber on there so it doesn't slide when it actually comes in contact with the car. That's kind of neat. Not a bad idea, but is this a bad idea? Well, the blaster itself is relatively interesting looking. It's got this, what appears to be some kind of piping, like exhaust piping on the side of it. It's got a rather comfortable grip. I was really astounded with how comfortable this grip is. And then you've got the blaster itself, which does have this kind of decal flame thing on both sides of the blaster, and yet they've only inked in the NERF Nitro on one side. Boo! Then you've got this translucent yellow right here. There's also some translucent yellow right here, which is pretty cool. And then the muzzle, which is where the cars come out of, and it's designed to be placed pretty much flat on a table. It does have that same kind of safety mechanism there, which I can easily depress with my pinky, so that doesn't do anything. And it's a weak enough safety that it will actually completely depress itself when you just set it on a table. And this is all the junk you get with it, which, again, not really for me. We do in fact have our cars, our ammunition of choice for this, and they're slightly different than the other NERF Nitro cars I have from the first gen, in that they have some kind of marbling effect in the foam, which is pretty cool, I guess. They're both the same car, just swapped over in different color schemes, some blue, some orange, so whatever. There's also some cones, because you gotta have cones. These are just pieces of plastic. You can kind of see where this is going. This is the whole big, huge thing of the Doubleclutch Inferno set. These are what appear to be like some kind of flaming disc things that shoot out, but the only way they really fling out is to kind of press them down into this launcher, and then when a car goes underneath of it, it's gonna knock it up. And, yeah, it's pretty weak, I'm not gonna lie. Here's like the stands for it. It's only meant to go on once, but you can take it apart, and it's, I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. The ramp's pretty nice, though. It's a nice little, rather thick piece of plastic, although I guess most of that's just the ribbing, and the cars can hit it, and it won't slide. So, that's a thing. I mean, again, to be perfectly honest, I don't give a care about any of this, but you do get plenty of little toys to play with if that's kind of your thing, and I guess I'll have to demonstrate this thing in both ways, because obviously, I don't really care about the NERF Nitro thing, care more about the fact that this is a shotgun, a double-barreled one, and it is pretty nifty. So, it comes with these 2 slots right here, which click satisfyingly into holding your cars in there, but of course that's not actually how it loads. You actually prime this back like any kind of direct pull, like a Night Finder, and it reveals this chamber. It pops up ever so authoritatively, and then you slot these cars in. It's a little bit tricky, as you can imagine. There's actually these are what hold the cars in, so these are the only points of contact for the cars. There are some like tabs up front as well, which they kind of get forced past, so you can't push them in too far. And then you just kind of push them in like that, and it will clip into the back tires on the car. And you can tell what ones are the back tires because they have this little strip of rubber around them. Put them in like that, you close that, and it is ready to fire. Now, of course, this is meant to be placed on the table, so I'm going to kind of do that. It will roll and they'll fly, and they're probably going to go everywhere. Let's kind of do it like this, actually, so we can get the full effect. They actually do come out with some kind of speed, and honestly, if I was a little bit younger, I'd probably really dig this. But what I do dig is the fact that it's a double-barreled car shotgun, and that is exactly why I wanted this. You just, again, load it like that. I can just push this down with my pinky, and you can actually see the lock engaging right there. And then I can just shoot cars at people. How well? Not very good, like at all. The Moto Fury, like, blows the pants off this thing. It fires way farther, but it's not bad. The kind of crushing disappointment about this is completely kinetic. So basically when you're pulling this back, it pulls back a little double-pronged spring catch. And when you pull the trigger, it just pushes forward and hits the back of the cars. There's no air pressure or anything going on right here, which is a little disappointing. I wish it kind of did a little bit more, and yes, of course, you could replace this spring mechanism and make it so much stronger. I mean, it's a huge, it doesn't seem like it's very tough, but it's a huge priming rod. You could probably put a pretty beefy spring in there and make it do some pretty crazy stuff, but with it being completely kinetic, I don't think you're gonna get a whole lot more velocity out of it. I mean, right now, it's hitting pretty terribly. It's like Tech 3 ranges, but at least this is consistent. Maybe with a proper upgrade, you could get it hitting end strike levels. But it's not like the end-all be-all. In fact, it would be really hard for me to recommend this as a blaster to pretty much anybody unless you really just want to shotgun somebody with some cars. But even then, the shotgun effect, well, you do shoot 2 cars at once, and it is really freaking fun to do that. But they don't fly very far, and they don't really have much of a spread because they pretty much come out at the same time in the same place, and they don't really diverge at all. They don't really have a reason to. So yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. Could you technically use this thing as some kind of oversized secondary that shoots cars? Maybe if your war allows you to shoot cars. I think these are a relatively safe projectile. I don't see anybody, even if you get clipped by the wheel, there's just no way these things are really going to hurt you. I think they're perfectly safe, so yeah, I could see some game modes having special rules for getting hit with Nitro cars, but I mean, I would honestly, you'd probably be better off just using a Moto Fury, because that has a magazine, and you can actually mod those to hit ridiculously hard. This one, not so much. But it is darn fun! I mean, even with the little bit I've used this so far, using the ramps and stuff like that, we'll actually set this up. It is really fun to shoot the Doubleclutch Inferno, because it's like, yeah, we'll put this together, screw it. It's just gonna get tossed in a box anyway. But we'll just go like this. There we go. And then we could fire the cars through it. Woo! And it popped one up. Only one. I mean, I don't really think you could... It'd be really difficult for you to actually hit both sides unless that's really far away. But you get what I'm talking about. Like, there is fun to be had with this. I honestly just wanted it to kind of show it off as an oddity because, it's a double-barreled car shotgun. And that's not a thing we get all that often. It is a shotgun that shoots cars. I don't know what else you could possibly want from me, but, I mean, for its going price, I got this off Amazon for like 17 bucks, and there's quite a bit here to have fun for $17, so you never know. This might be something you're interested in. You probably didn't even know it exists. Maybe you're a huge fan of NERF Nitro. Honestly, I'm sure there's a couple of you out there. You might want to pick it up. And yes, if you do, prime it back, just pop that back up. And it will shoot only one car if you wanted to. But if you're a huge fan, I mean, yeah, you might want to pick it up before it completely disappears, you know what I mean? As for mod, maybe it would be worth doing a spring upgrade. Very maybe. I don't know if I'm going to waste my time doing that, but let me know down in the comment section if that's what you're looking for, and also let me know if there are actually fans of NERF Nitro out there. I do have more practical mod for Nerf Nitro coming up, because I really want to shoot these little foam cars at ridiculously high speeds at people, but until I get to that point, this is what we have. The Doubleclutch Inferno. I just love that name, the Doubleclutch Inferno. As always, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one, and I would say a car shotgun is pretty freaking different. It's a double-barreled car shotgun. This thing could barely work, and I'd probably still love it.
You gotta up,